Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Sounds great.
It sounded like a telenova.
Barb Bacon, and I'm a community advocate here in South Charlotte. If I had my buttons on today, it would be let's get some gun control. I'm tired of looking at the news and seeing this. Black Lives Matter in honor of our friend Joel. And let's have equal rights for everybody.
This is James Gunn. I am a community advocate here in Charlotte, North Carolina for LGBT women's rights with the National Organization for Women, gun sense laws with Moms and Men Action, and anything that extends equity to all. Thank you.
Christian Cano, you're the co-host. My buttons are Moms Men Action, Gun Sense Legislation, Healthcare for All, Medicare for All, and also in my heart, Black Lives Matter on behalf of Joe Oldham, who's a guest of ours who passed away last year. That's it.
Hey everybody, it is April 19th if you're seeing this on the day that we
had to start the dancing there.
A little coffee and pan dulce. Hey, we got a little Tejano mix going on again.
Yeah.
Mix just right for you.
I actually love this song. I mean, a really good greedo at the beginning too. Like it's my favorite part.
Cool.
But we've got a lot to cover today, and we've got our Who's American's Biggest Queens, and got an interesting topics, and of course part of special events or news or whatever, and we got Barb back, and
welcome back, Barbara.
We got Christian back in Charlotte, all safe and sound from West Afghanistan. So again, this is a Coffee at Pan Dulce, and we're getting started. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. As Jenny said, good morning, everyone. This was Coffee and Pan Dulce. I'm going to keep that voice going. I'm Christian Cano, one of your co-hosts with Jenny Gunn, Barb Bacon. We actually, as Jenny was starting, you never see the person if you're listening, but Baby Trump Pinata dropped off. I think he knew we were going to do this topic, and he got upset and dropped off. So all we have right now is St. Bernie. So sorry for Baby Trump Pinata fans. He's not going to be watching this, or he's actually sitting next to me.
And I wonder what people think when we talk about, because if you've always just been an audio podcast listener, because started promoting and broadcasting on podcasts about 14 months ago, actually. We have Christian loves his little tchotchkes and stuff like that. So he has his little cameras.
It's my dolls. It's my dolls.
His little dolly collection. And so one of them is a Baby Trump pinata. And if you don't know what a pinata is, then you can Google it. It's super cute. And then he's got a little tiny Bernie doll. And I mean, this thing probably isn't more than a few inches long. And actually, you got it obstructed by the Made in America with Immigrant Hands.
That's right.
And then he has a couple little Catholic
candles.
I don't know what the official name is, but
there's a term for them. Yeah, they're like Mexican candles or something.
Yeah, they're real pretty. They're real decorative. And so just to set the mood and a reminder, if you've been a long-term audio podcast listener and wondered why we refer to those two objects, is that if you watch the video version,
Mm-hmm.
we'd see those. Now, if we have
You can see them.
if we have a lot of guests on, because of bandwidth, we cut those cameras off.
That's right. Yeah.
Once we get started in the show, but it is kind of funny, and we kind of forget to describe that once in a while.
Yeah,
So
I forget, but it was just funny because right when you started talking, and Barbara said, "What's the topic today?" and I said it, he dropped off. That's like a sign.
little baby Trump pinata just ran it, just crawled away.
That's right.
No, we don't want to talk about the old queen.
Well,
And,
as Jenny said, well,
Never mind.
yeah, as Jenny said, welcome everyone who's joining us on Facebook Live, but also those who join us on YouTube and the thousands who listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platform. So we're going to get started. Our topic today is the second show that we've done this. We've got 3 this spring. And this is the CPD. Okay, that's fine. It's good. It's the CPD, the Coffee and Pan Dulce Biggest Queen Show. This matchup is going to be between MAGA versus the Tea Party and MTG versus Matt Gaetz. So we'll be voting on who's the biggest queen. Those who, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we had the first one, and I believe Ted Cruz won that one, and also Proud Boys. Proud Boys won that one against drag queens. They beat out the drag queens, and Ted Cruz beat out
have you, real quick, have you seen, and I forgot who did it, but somebody did AI art of all these well-known Republicans and MAGAs like Ted Cruz and Moscow Mitch, but they did put them in drag.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it is flipping hilarious.
Yeah. I got to watch that.
It's all over Twitter. If you just put in Republican
like
drag,
Ted Cruz drag, yeah.
It's these AI pictures of all these different Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
But AI can redraw you and make you look like a princess or whatever.
May make you look thin.
Yeah, exactly. Get you back into a beach body, and but they beach season's coming up soon. But the AI of all these famous Republicans, Mike Pence, they did, but they put them in the drag queens. And now Mike Pence actually looks like the AI drawing. Chris, Mike, we all know Mike Pence is big.
Yeah, and that's why he's projecting. Yeah,
and I'm telling you, they got him in a pink dress and makeup, and I'm telling you, he could probably go on the RuPaul show.
Yeah, well, he's got some good cheekbones. So
the 2 most queeny ones. Yeah. Believe it or not, Moscow Mitch looks better as a drag queen than not.
Well, of course.
I'm telling you, I was dying. When I saw this is
we'll have to
the best.
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Trump ought to be selling these things instead of his little Trump.
Instead of his,
these would raise way more money because a bunch of Republicans would buy those.
Yeah, exactly.
They love drugs.
Where was it? Where was it?
It's on. I guess it's on Twitter. Is that what it is?
It's on Twitter.
Okay.
Somebody,
probably
took one of the AI programs, artificial intelligence, and you can create art with this AI. So you can take your own personal picture and say, I want to be in costume and look like Princess Leia. But
hey, Jenny, you mentioned something. I know a lot of people are concerned about AI. They have been doing this for a while. As a matter of fact, conservatives have been using these programs for Christmas for as long as maybe at least 7 or 8 years, where they put their family in these little elf outfits and they dance in the elf outfits. So they've been doing that for a long time. I don't think they understand that's called artificial intelligence because they just put the picture on the body, And,
but to make sure that we keep on theme, Republicans typically don't understand regular intelligence. So artificial
that's true.
Way.
That's right. Oh, that's good. I knew you were going to go somewhere with that one.
I set you up. I mean,
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. Well, speaking of that, you're gonna. This is funny. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Barb's current events.
And this is Barb's current events.
All right, so these are the three Barb's current events. The first one is in the state of Texas, West Afghanistan, the state that I just came from. There's a state representative called Representative Brian Slayton. He is a House member in their state legislation. He's the one who has been pushing. He's like this biggest voice for the anti-drag. He wants to ban drag shows of all ages. Also, the don't say gay type of stuff. Well, he's been asked to resign by two other Republicans in the state house in Texas because he has been accused of grooming an intern. So,
That
crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So here's the deal. Yes, so here's the deal. We record this a week ago. So the week of Easter, Friday, the week of Easter, apparently he invited this intern to his house, gave her some drinks, and then showed her some fake emails that said, this is what's going to happen to you if you report this. And she reported it. I don't mean to laugh, but
good for her.
Yes. So,
well, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what's the next topics?
Yeah, exactly. Next topic. In Tennessee, they had a mass shooting, as Jenny has been covering on her show, Two Queers in a Truck. And we also as well. Well, the Tennessee governor, because he's gotten so much pushback from the Christian religious people in that state to do something about gun violence, he has now decided to push to sign an executive order to increase background checks and increase punishment for those who have guns illegally. This is happening also in South Carolina. So the two governors there are Republicans because they're getting pushback from Christians, religious people. They've decided now it's time to act. That's the second one. The last one, this is my favorite. So everyone knows about this Bud Light boycotting that's allegedly going on, with the MAGAs because they've decided, and they've been doing this for a long time. They created a special beer, like a special color can, and they have a transgender spokesperson, an influencer. Well, they do this all the day with the Latino community. They do it with all communities. Well, Breitbart, or that Steve Bannon online
Breitbart
newspaper, has been saying that they've lost $1 billion, and they've been spreading this rumor on social media in the last week that they've lost almost up to $8 billion. What's not true? So that's been debunked. Travis Tritt, a former has-been country singer, came out against it. The stupid Kid Rock guy came out against it, was shooting up things, and we'll talk about how funny that is. Howard Stern on his show, when you watch this, it's been a week ago, wants to interview Kid Rock because they're friends, wants him to come back on the show, also wants to invite Travis Tritt. And his question is, why is this a concern to you? This is a Jenny James Gunn. Why does this concern you? And that's his concern. Why is this your business? So those are the three current events. We're going to get with Jenny to start. Jen, you start.
Well, I mean, I'll start with the homophobes, and and the spokesperson, the influencer is this really cute Dylan Mulvaney, and she does little TikTok dances and is chronicled her transition that's been going on for a little over a year, and just adorable, and has got millions of followers and all that. So Bud Light wanted to jump onto that bandwagon and put a rainbow, and I think her pronouns, and I think her face is going on the beer can. And if you just saw her face on the beer can, she's very feminine. She's very young. She started her transition very young, and you couldn't tell. You can't. A static image, especially, you really can't tell that she's trans, or that used to look more masculine. Well, she never really looked that masculine. But to be this homophobia, like you're going to catch the gabies or something, or you're going to want to, start dressing pretty or something and wear makeup because you drink Bud Light. It's the same Bud Light, the same Beechwood aged beer. So to me, homophobia originates from two spots. You're closetly gay yourself. And if you have any association with any homo things, people are going to know that you like penis.
Projection. Yep.
So there's projection there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or you're just a hateful bigot.
Yeah.
And you are a flippin' idiot, which is like Kid Rock. Kid Rock. And Travis Tritt is a big old queen. He's got pictures of him.
We used to call him Travis Twat when I was growing up.
Yeah, he's always been a big old queen. He's always had this long flowing hair.
Yeah, big old mullet. Yeah,
looks a lot more like a drag queen than a country star. And has been known to wear pretty extravagant stage makeup, especially in his day. He was always thought of as a big old queen. I find him to be very interesting that he is talking about anybody's appearance. For one, Dylan's very, very pretty. Travis Tritt, not so much.
Okay.
And beer ain't gonna make you gay.
So quickly, what do you think the Howard Stern comment?
I love it. First of all,
is that not what you've been telling us?
Of course. I mean, Howard Stern is very progressive.
Yeah,
for his misogynistic era that he had.
Yeah, he's misogynistic.
But he's a lot like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart and Howard Stern have evolved into people that have become less problematic with age, that have seen the real issues in America, which is one of them is fascism. The second thing, and I'll comment on the Breitbart thing, Bud Light sales went up. And you got to realize that the beer market, one, is very competitive. And an older brand like Bud Light typically is pretty static. It's pretty level in its sales. Like it's going to go up a little bit more during Super Bowl week or anything that they sponsor. It's going to go up a little bit, like 1% or 2%. But it went up like 20, 30% in the last week. Because it reinvigorated the brand, the discussion. Bud Light was taking this all the way to the bank. And
yes, exactly.
Go out and buy.
Amazing that they're that progressive. I was shocked.
Oh, no,
so smart. I mean, is that smart or what?
The Anheuser-Busch family originate from St. Louis. So that's where the OG brewery was in St. Louis. Yeah. And they're a very progressive family. Also, Anheuser-Busch is not owned by the Busch family anymore.
Yeah, it's owned by a German company. Yeah.
It's a company called
Dutch or something. Is it Netherlands or something? Belgium. Okay, Belgium company. That's right. And they're even more progressive.
They're the largest brewer in the world. So they own South American brands. They own Mexican brands. You'd be surprised what beer companies they actually own.
Exactly.
InBev has been around forever. It's a very old company. It's older like Anheuser-Busch.
It's the oldest. Yeah.
And
I think they own Stella.
They own. Yeah, I think like 110.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's ridiculous how much they own.
Okay.
And so they're laughing all the way to the bank. It's brilliant. Exactly. I'd personally put tons of queers and all kinds of people. If it sells beers, it gets people talking about your brand, especially an older, more static brand like a Bud Light. That's not the latest and greatest. Bud Light's been around forever, and ever since they did the Bud Bowls and things like that, but I think it was a brilliant strategy because Dylan Mulvaney is a very hip, new, cool influencer, and so it's super smart. And she's slightly controversial.
Exactly.
The Texas Queen down there, they every time that you see one of these jackasses going off about drag queens,
crazy,
and homosexuals. And things like that, you immediately need to seize all their devices and see what they've been doing.
Exactly.
They're doing something naughty.
Exactly. We've been saying it on this show since this drag queen thing started.
Every time.
Look, anybody who yells that, Yeah.
I mean, because if you are supposedly a straight male
Mm-hmm.
and you get that caught up with drag,
Mm-hmm. Something's up.
what is going on in your head?
Something's fishy.
Oh my God, it's the drag queens and they're turning our kids gay. I'm like, no, if your kid is gay, it's because they're gay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
they're romantically and physically attracted to the same gender. Just that simple. I mean,
it's crazy.
Nothing in my childhood and nothing in Christian's childhood automatically turned it. Like we didn't eat a certain kind of, like we didn't eat Fruit Loops. It turned us fruity and gay. Okay.
It's too sugary.
It's not contagious. It's not.
I like Kellogg's.
We didn't watch.
It's Kellogg's fault.
It's Kellogg's fault.
Cornflakes. Cornflakes. Cornflakes made me gay.
There was some rainbows in the water, and we turned gay.
Okay. How about the Tennessee governor?
A Tennessee governor, yeah. I mean, you. I guess we need to make sure our mass shooters shoot up churches and religious schools because, we shoot up banks. We don't all of a sudden start shutting down banks and doing all kinds of things. But it's so bizarre that, especially Tennessee, just loosened their gun laws like right before this. That a transgender male shoots up the school from this hyper religious family. Like his parents are, he went to that school.
Yeah, exactly.
But all of a sudden now they want to kick in red flag laws, and I mean they're really cranking this up.
They're suddenly concerned about safety.
Well, doesn't that just strike you as we told you so? I mean, it's just like the AIDS epidemic. Until rich people got it, they didn't give a damn about any of you. And
I'll tell you,
all the rest of us were like, wait a minute, this can impact us too. We need to all work together. And coming from the pharmaceutical industry, it's like, you know what?
So hey, Jane. Hey, Jane, let me pause you real quickly. We're going to take our first break, and we'll come back and let you finish, Jen, and then we'll let Barb go into our those three current events. So we're gonna pause real quickly, and we'll be right back on our first break on Coffee Pan Dulce right after this.
Hey, y'all, thanks for watching and support local black and brown businesses, including our sponsor, Manolo Bakery. That has some fabulous pastries, food, king cakes, all kinds of specialty cakes, smallies, and much, much more. Some of the best food we eat in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, Manolo's Bakery, right here in East Charlotte. Thanks for watching.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish up, Jen.
So this has happened before with Republicans and gun control. So back in the 1960s, the Black Panthers chose a different path than Dr. King.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they armed themselves up. In fact, they went to the Capitol of California and stood on the steps and posed for pictures with rifles and guns and stuff like that. They said, hey, we need to arm ourselves. We need to protect ourselves against white people. And this is when California wasn't so progressive as it is now. And Governor Ronald Reagan started passing gun control laws.
That's right.
Imagine that. Bunch of people of color all started arming themselves. All of a sudden, we need guns. One transgender male shoots up a Christian school. All of a sudden, we see common sense gun laws kicking in.
Yep.
And it's not lost on me, A, how historically significant this is, but B, they don't worry about protecting anybody until it lands in their backyard.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I go, hey, that's actually a really typical American ideal. Like we wouldn't stay all World War II until the Empire of Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. And all of a sudden, let's go kill ourselves some Germans, Japanese. Everybody's jumping on ships and buying guns and stuff. So I think that is a typically American response in a lot of ways. But I also think it's a typical conservative response.
Sure.
It's not important, or it's not on my radar
until it impacts them. Yeah.
Until
Exactly.
it impacts them, because they are naturally selfish.
Drugs weren't important until fentanyl, until opioids. That's important. So let's jump to Barb. Barb, you want to comment on any of those three topics in 30 seconds or less?
Well, I'll just pick up where Jenny left off.
All right.
Exactly. And until it's in their house, they aren't going to worry about it. And let's be real here. Who are one of the main drivers of a lot of these efforts in the Republican Party? Churches. And if those people are starting to get active and aggravated, they don't want those people defecting. They have enough things to worry about. So now we're going to pander to that base. And
that's a good point, Jen. I mean, Barb,
it's about time, because the shootings have to stop. Sure. And we know from those two mothers that you had on the show way back when, Gunn sent, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Their movement, okay, what happened to it?
Yeah.
It stalled, or,
the moms have been action.
Isolated in communities and not going national. And I've never understood why. I mean, drunk driving laws and mothers against drunk driving, that was big and it was effective. Why not with guns? So it's going to happen, but it's just going to be.
Okay. I will jump in here real quick. Again, and I remember when MAD was getting really popular and pushing back. And I think you didn't really see change again until you saw white suburban cities. I was living in Lubbock, Texas at the time when MAD really started to catch hold.
Yeah, and they were trying to.
People really started to check driving while drunk, and especially teenage drunk driving. I remember at my prom, my senior prom, we had the prom itself. They didn't say too much. And then the high school and a mom's group sponsored a dry and safe after prom party. We had this lock-in at this big sports center thing. And they had sodas and chips and cookies and pizzas and stuff like this. So it was designed to be a safe place to go. So when you were walking in, they had this wrecked Corvette.
Girl, we ain't got 30 seconds.
Okay. And so they used this example, and it was a local student that died a few years before, that died in this car crash. They had the actual car out in front. It was shattered. And for us to see that impacted me, and it really said, yeah, this is important. Sobriety is important. Safe driving is important. I don't want any of my friends that I graduated to die tonight. Celebrating life, celebrating adulthood, celebrating going out for work, and it ends before it begins. And I'll never forget it. And I graduated a long time ago. I graduated in 1988, and I still remember that car. That burned in my brain as I was walking in. And I look at gun control and gun safety, and I think about Uvalde almost every day.
Yeah.
That's happened. Because I grew up near there.
Yeah.
Been to Uvalde, or been through Uvalde a million times. And I see those kids as part of my extended family, those 19 little kids that never got a chance at a real life. And I do equate it to drunk driving. Where do we say how many dead kids is enough?
When is enough? Yeah.
Where does the intersection of common sense and decency and fucking dead kid bodies? They're dead. They're not coming back. This isn't like the movies. There isn't a retake or a do-over. They're not play acting. These are not kids that got slaughtered by an AR-15. and I'm saying slaughtered.
Yeah. Ripped
Because
apart.
when an AR-15 bullet hits the body, it's intended to do maximum
Damage.
damage.
Well, as
It's a weapon of war.
Yeah. Well, as Barbara said, that unfortunately people aren't thinking the way you are, Jenny, until it impacts them.
And you look at the Nashville shooting, that's just horrible that 3 kids and 3 adults were slaughtered by the shooter. And it takes an attack on a church school. It takes attack on churches. It takes to hit the conservatives, and I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not encouraging.
No, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
But it takes that shock and awe that, okay, we finally landed on our doorstep. That this is what it took for us to almost sober up out of this ether the Republicans because we talked about this in the other show on a different subject, but we have Kelly and I call her Beavis Conway, and like for Beavis, because she looks like Beavis off Beavis and Butthead, and Google it and you'll see the resemblance. But this alternate universe that Republicans and conservatives live in, that everything is the way our narrative is, our rewriting of history, our rewriting of everything, and we can rewrite current events to be as fun as we want to make them be. Unless we want them to be a scare tactic, like queers are shooting up churches now, and it is going to be one of the fear tactics that's going to bite the gun lobby in the butt. Because now the religious sector that has the absolute control of the Republican Party,
you bet,
is going to say, well, we're not going to. You didn't hear Ted Cruz go to Nashville and say, if they did had stronger doors on that church school, we wouldn't have had a shooting. If we just removed all the. That's true. Here's one more fact. There was multiple staff members at that church school that carry. There was armed people, employees of that school that carry. And the good guy with the gun, once again, reality versus the narrative, is that the good guy with the gun, for the 3,000th time, did not show up and save the day. But I'm still waiting, for that good guy with the gun to jump in and
sure.
I haven't seen it.
Hey, Jen, I'm gonna let you finish up, Barb. Go ahead, Barb.
Well, let's just finish with that topic. Usually, if you're in that situation, unless you are like a trained military person, the shock of the whole thing is going to impair your reaction time. And my brother's a Marine, and we were talking about it. It's way different, no matter what kind of gun you have, if you're not trained to use it, no matter what. He said, because we're human beings. So, but anyway,
any comment on the Howard Stern or the Texas representative?
I love Howard Stern. So go for him. Go after him, Howard. Please go after him.
Good job. Okay. How about the Texas representative who has been accused of grooming the center? I'm
glad he gets outed, and let's not waste any more time on people like him, because nothing but a bunch of liars. See, I cleaned it up totally. And what's
you sure did. It was that was it. Tennessee governor Howard Stern.
So isn't that a real flip flop from what he's been doing with the two representatives that got banned? I mean, this guy is walking the biggest tightrope there is. It's just laughable. That's really talking out of both sides of your mouth.
I wanted to piggyback. We're going to take our second break, and then I'm going to come back, and I want to just piggyback a little bit on what Jenny said on these 3 current events. So we'll be right back in Coffee Pan Dulce right after this. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching our Coffee Pan Dulce show every week. Don't forget you can watch us visually on our video podcast platforms on Facebook and YouTube, but you can also listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all of the other ones that your favorite, whatever your favorite is. Once again, thank you for watching us on Coffee Pan Dulce. We'll dance out. Well, welcome back, everyone. And so just to piggyback what Jenny said, the humor to me of this Bud Light boycott, as Jenny said, a couple of things which are so obvious. They're so stupid that they don't even realize that Bud Light has been sponsoring pride parades and gay bars for as long as I remember.
Years.
So has Coors Light, so has Miller Lite. All three, because it's a huge market with a huge dispensable income. The second thing that's hilarious, which this Representative Congressperson Crenshaw from Texas got busted on with Kid Rock shooting all these stupid. How stupid are you that you go out and buy a Bud Light to shoot it? They're like, sure.
Go ahead.
Buying our product to empty it. And thirdly, the representative congressperson who was all performative, like MTG, performative. I'm not going to do Bud Light anymore. I'm going to drink this other beer. The other beers they're picking are owned by this company. So they're like, that's fine. That's what's so stupid.
We double dog dare you to buy our other beer.
Exactly. It's like, throw our beer out. I want you to have more things. But here's the reality. Beer drinkers tend to be sports people. There's a certain type of beer drinker, okay? Younger people have switched to breweries.
IPA.
And so beer sales, their future market has not been as it used to be. So they are trying to get younger people. The younger people are not going to participate in this boycott. They're not going to suddenly go, they're not. And the Martin Taylor Greens is probably drinking bourbon, scotch. They're not necessarily drinking beer.
Wine.
Yeah, wine. Exactly. As Jenny has told us, wine. So it is a marketing brilliance and you wouldn't expect less from Anheuser-Busch or the people that own them. It is brilliant to have all of the people talking about this because it increases their sales.
It increases brand awareness and branding. Yes. And as somebody that I own a company that does a lot of this for other companies of branding and stuff like this, it's probably one of the most brilliant liquor sales campaigns I've ever seen. Because they took a brand that's had fairly stagnant sales and now is seeing beer sales skyrocket. And it's coming up. It's not lost on me that Pride season is June 1st. It's not that far.
Exactly.
Away.
So they're perfect timing.
And I'm like, they wouldn't have done this during football season, but they did this as a launching point. In fact, some people were having Prides. They have them in the spring, and so you're getting into the peak season and talking about this. And one of the main incomes of any Pride event is liquor sales, but including here in Charlotte. One of our main revenue sources
is beer sales.
It's free. We don't charge a gate fee on a gated event. And so primarily it's vending, but the vending that makes us the most money, clearly people are outside. They're wanting to drink, cold drinks. A lot of adults come to this. So they're wanting to have a couple adult beverages while they're there. And so to me, the InBev and the Budweiser company and Anheuser-Busch it's a win-win. You get rednecks going out and buying beer and blowing it up. And you get
other people who are buying it just to go, I want to stick it to the MAGA people.
You have the gays going, I might not drink Bud Light, but I'll drink one of their brands now. I'll start looking at Anheuser.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you not only increased your market share, you increased your brand awareness. You're probably going to have other liquor companies going, Well, I better get on this queer bandwagon too and start
Exactly.
slapping rainbows on everything. You know?
Tito's is going to have the drag queen Selena now. You know, I mean, it's just Tito's vodka, so it's going to be.
You're an idiot not to, because the reactionary conservatives that don't want to drink a homo beer because it might make me gay, you know. And
that's right.
You know,
I mean, how many of you think that Ted Cruz is actually at a sports bar drinking Bud Light? I mean, they're not losing any money on Ted Cruz or the church people. They're like, yeah, you know,
church people want alcohol sales banned. So
exactly.
It's on Wednesdays. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about this Travis Tritt thing, because he's like the one of the first ones, Kid Rock and him, and then everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. And it's hilarious. Travis Tritt, what he said was, he's so upset that he's going to stop putting Bud Light in his rider. A rider is, when you go perform somewhere, these are the things that you have to have in the room. So he doesn't pay for it. It's the stuff that the bar has to provide for free, like green M&Ms or, you know, chips. So the bars are going, fine, I don't have to provide Bud Light in there for you, and we don't have to spend it. You're going to have to put, you know, we have to put something in there. So it's not like he's buying it. It's not like he's sponsored by Bud Light, you know? And so it's such a performative outrage. You know, it's like, you know, I'm so
like he could make a difference with his six-pack or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
On Twitter, there's a lot of these big old Republican queens.
Yeah.
I saw this one guy, and I think he's from Wisconsin or Michigan or something, and he had, you know, 2 refrigerators. He has one in his house and one in his garage. He has this little man cave. And he was talking the whole time, and he sounds like a download queen, because he was like, I'm just going to go down. And he's taking all these Bud Light cans and just scraping them into the trash can, full cans, uncut cans. And then he takes a freezer pack of Coors Light and replacing video. He's just, and I mean, you know, you talk about somebody that hasn't come out of the closet yet. I mean, he is just a twisted up old bull queer, which I think is so funny. And then he goes out to his garage. I'm going to show Bud Light, and he's throwing away he probably threw away 50, 60 perfectly good Bud Light beers. And he's just replaced Coors Light. Unbeknownst to this chucklefuck, Coors Light has been sponsoring Pride Parade for decades.
I remember
the first Prides I went to in the 1990s was Coors Light. They were the original queer beer. I mean,
exactly.
They're huge sponsor for Prides all over the country, and almost every gay bar has Coors Light on tap.
Yes,
that was the big beer, especially with the old school. I call them old queers, the ones that sit at the bar and judge all the young queers and young gays and just like them kids, you know. Because every bar has it. You have the old men, the like from the Muppets.
It's like regular bars. You got the old You're at the bar.
Exactly. The day drinkers. They drink from about 4 in the afternoon when they get off their construction job to about 8 or 9 o'clock when all the cool kids come, all the loud cool kids come. And so the gay community has the same thing.
And here's the
do Coors Light long necks.
But here's the deal. The difference, and this is what's a little bit hilarious about this boycott, because they're pump Breitbart and they're pump Fox News, they're pumping this number. They've lost over $1 billion a day. Well, that's not true, because there's not $1 billion a day in beer sales just with Bud Light. And it's been proven false, because they're trying to make it like they're tearing down Bud Light. This is impacting them. They don't really understand how beer boycotts work. In the late 80s, early 90s, Coors Light was being boycotted by gay bars and progressive bars because a family member of Coors said something homophobic. And it lasted almost a week. And then Coors Light immediately started sponsoring pride parades. They started doing all kinds of reach out because they couldn't afford for bars to boycott. They don't mind people, but you can't afford bars to boycott. Okay? No bars are going to boycott Bud Light. Maybe Kid Rock's bar, which is a trashy kind of steakhouse bar in Nashville. Maybe his bar. You know what? younger people who go to bars aren't going. They don't
Aren't
care
going
about
to the
this.
bar anyway, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't go-
Yeah,
They're
I didn't
going to
even know-
breweries like they do here. They're not
Yeah,
going
exactly.
to kids' dump bar.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Travis Tritt and Kid Rock were still alive.
I'm surprised about.
can
Yeah,
we-
I thought Kid Rock was dead.
Especially Travis Tritt. Like,
Yeah.
I go, where have you been playing at, Branson?
Kid Rock's bar.
The ones like these two aren't playing stadiums anymore. They're not playing these huge. They're not playing Red Rocks in Colorado. They're not playing these big venues anymore. They're playing these honky tonks and these medium-sized, all-size theaters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're playing at Trump rallies. Ted Nugent, Travis Tritt. What we call it? I mean, it was
mostly Gen Xers and baby boomers. They're trying to relive their youth.
Yeah.
And, because
really Gen Xers,
is absolute white trash.
Yeah.
Gen X white trash music.
He represents the white trash kind of crowd.
Yeah.
So how old are they?
Trash.
How old are they now?
They're like they're my age. They're our age. Well, Travis Tritt's a little bit older. He's like in his 60s. But when I remember in high school, if you were a roper, which is a country kind of person who was like a member of the rodeo club, we call them ropers. They listened to George Strait. They hated Travis. They called him Travis Twat. And I know that was kind of an insult because he was like a hair band kind of country singer.
Oh yeah, he wore like leather.
Yeah, he was
very queenie.
He was. So hey, listen, we have to get on our topic because we only got 17 minutes left. So I'm going to do the name of the topic, then we're going to take our break for Jen's show. Then it wasn't going to take long, so I think Jenny was kind of saving us here. So the name of the topic was, this is our second, the CB Coffee Pan Dulce Biggest Queen Show. It's going to be a matchup between MAGA versus Tea Party and MTG versus Matt Gaetz. But before we do that, we're going to take our third break. And it is, if you like what you hear from Jenny, she has a show that comes on 30 minutes after this on Wednesdays at 11:30. It's called Two Queers in a Truck, and it was very, very good last week. It'll be good this week when it drops today as well. And this next commercial will tell us all about that.
Up next is Two Queers in a Truck with Jenny and Christian. And hope you guys tune in. We'll see you in about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, everyone. And so let's go into the topic. MAGA versus Tea Party. As I mentioned earlier, the first competition we had, Proud Boys beat out the Drag Queens, so they actually received our very first crown ever. And then Ted Cruz beat out George Santos, I believe. And so this one's going to be, so this is how it works. As we've done this before, this is so bootleg, but we're going to do it. You guys can decide who you vote for. The first one is MAGA versus Tea Party. You go first, Jenny.
Okay. Honestly, the Tea Party people just evolved into MAGA, truthfully. But I mean, the biggest queens right now, obviously, is the MAGA people. I mean, just the photographs of the events where they're wearing Trump onesies and these rainbow star and stripe short alls, and I mean, and the trucks with the flags. I mean, that's
a phenomenon.
It's kind of their straight pride. I mean,
it's their pride,
or straightish pride, because I've got my theory.
Straightish pride. That's right.
Ones. But the funniest MAGA queen story I've ever seen in real time is we were having this press conference. I think it was the Indio one, or I don't even know which one it was. But these big old queens pull up in this like town car like vehicle or Cadillac and had a sunroof, and they had their Trump flag sticking out through the sunroof. And I'm just crying. I think it was one of those moments that if you ever really wanted to see how performative these maggots are and how big a queens they are, is seeing a luxury big car with a sunroof open and a big old Trump flag hanging out of it. It does. It's as redneck as you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
But also just funny. You can't help but laugh. Like I don't even feel insulted.
Yeah.
When an idiot like that shows up and shows themselves for who they are.
Sure.
I'm like, you would never see an Obama or Biden supporter doing that.
Do that. So okay, so you pick MAGA on the first one, and the second one, MTG versus Matt Gaetz.
Oh, MTG. Okay. I mean, her wine drunk ass. Matt Gaetz. Unless it's a high school pep rally with a lot of girls.
Young babes, yep.
Yeah.
He's not that performative. I mean, he has his little moments where he trots out his little 8 head instead of a 4 head.
Yeah.
And talks nonsensically. I mean, he
looks like the Grinch. He looks like the Grinch to me.
Oh yeah. He's weird looking.
This is him.
But I guess pedophilia will do that to you. But he graduated from BYU Brigham Young University. So but yeah.
All right. So MTG wins that one.
Queen.
Okay.
She even looks like she's on testosterone. She looks like she could be a drag king. Like I think
she is, but I've never seen. Okay, I'll use that joke later on your show. So Barb, the first one's between MAGA and Tea Party. Which one would you pick?
I'm MAGA.
Okay.
We never pay that much attention to the Tea Party people. I'm just like, your fluff, don't bother me. I have to agree with Jenny. MAGA.
Okay. All right. So MAGA gets it. So
chronically pathetic, but they'll get there. I'm a believer in karma.
Yeah, so am I. Okay, MTG versus Matt Gaetz. Who would you give the crown to? This one's a little tougher, huh?
So, do you go after a pedophile, or do you go after a loudmouth
pipe bomber?
No.
I can't think of a word for her.
I can, but I can't say
it. Brain, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm with Jenny, MTG.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. Our second competition. The first crown goes to MAGA. MAGA wins our biggest queen show. And then also MTG beat out Matt Gaetz for the fourth crown. Technically, we've given out 4 crowns. So now we're going to go directly into the Pendejo Chronicles. And this is the Pendejo Chronicles.
Good.
Well, this one actually did not happen on the coffee deal. It happened on the drug. And I think it's because people started searching out LGBT things to rag on.
I know exactly which one.
I love this dude. He is one of my favorite.
So Jenny,
posters.
set this up. So Barbara, listen to this. This is something that happened on her show. Okay, so 2 queers in a truck. Go ahead.
So this we set little bear traps for these idiots, and they take the bait.
What a surprise! What a surprise!
So on both shows, and because these idiots don't listen to the show, they're never going to figure this out.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't realize that we actually spend time laughing at them.
Exactly.
But these big old queens, so you put in on social media, it was driven by what they call the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And the algorithm drives everything, whether it's the Google machine, the Facebook machine, whatever. And so we put keywords in there, like queer, LGBT, stuff like that. It's very clever, Kristen.
Because and it's not the same as hashtags. It's a little bit different. Yeah. So
keywords.
Exactly.
So with these big old queens, like this happened the week that the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light thing broke, and it's not an accident.
Yeah.
And so that's the premise. So whenever they get mad about something, they go and get all queening and start hashtagging or start looking up these keywords like LGBT to go flame LGBT shows and pages. So this Wayne House is supposedly his name. He is from Louisville, Kentucky. Surprise, surprise. He's got a picture of all these white people posing, and they all look like cousins. So I'm assuming that's their dating pool. And he goes, "Why am I seeing this? Facebook promotes this gay crap way too much. Be gay and love who you want, but quit promoting it like it's the only way to be." And my response is, basically, I'm going to paraphrase it. Hey, Queen, that's how the algorithm works. You had to search queer things, and you found them. So when you search for queer things and a show titled Two Queers in a Truck with keywords LGBT and all
it will pop up.
If you quit searching out LGBT stuff, because you're either interested in gay sex or you're just coming on to flame my show, but this didn't accidentally pop up in your feed.
Exactly. It does. It's not. The show's not going to pop up to someone who's not looking for something that's related to two queers in a truck.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way.
Browsers don't work that way.
That's a little meme that is a two-sided meme. It says the snowflakes are offended by everything, which is supposed to be us. And then I put a giant train hitting a school bus, and it says gay beer on it. And, because every person that got offended by the gay Bud Light scandal wouldn't search that day. Because we got a bunch of comments on that page, on that particular one, where it's got an ad, and I can describe the ad. It's got a picture of me with my head kind of tilted, talking about two queers in a truck. And is Jenny James Gunn and Lady Bless Your Heart, aka Christian, are live paid. Oh, girl, it's gonna get bad. And so it drew out all these just download gay dudes, just flaming. Like, we got 4 or 5 comments, and this page never gets comments. It never, believe it or not, our coffee show, because of the clickbait that Christian puts on there. Like the title of this is going to draw people out.
Yeah, this one's going to get a lot of
So they went nuts.
It reminds me, and that was actually the Bendale Chronicle, the only one we were going to do today, because we didn't really want to read any more comments. Because last week's show, Who Are America's Real Taxpayers, got a lot of views, but didn't get a lot of comments because it wasn't meant to be clickbait. It was, even though we talked about certain things. And then the week before, Who Are the Baby Z's, we had the gentleman from the North Carolina Museum of History on. Didn't get a lot of comments, but it had a lot of views, almost 4,000 views. But this reminds me of a skit where the husband is on the computer and porn pops up, and he's like, I don't know how that happened, and the wife's going, how come that porn popped up? Oh, I don't know. It popped up because you were searching for it. I mean, so it's, it's just,
search.
That's why it pops up. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. I mean, these,
it's just
these algorithms and search engines and all this, they're geared to, because Facebook's a business. So if you search something, they're wanting to, they sell business ads, they sell advertising. And so that's why the algorithm works this way. So if you put in new car dealerships, for example, you're going to start getting more and more ads.
Yeah, you'll start seeing ads for the new Mustang.
Whatever.
Something.
But if you search queer or LGBT or trans or anything like that, related pages to that community are going to pop up. And so there's nothing more queer than two queers in a truck. I mean, so it definitely fit into their search criteria, plus putting those keywords. And these fools act like we don't know that we put the keywords in
exactly.
Or they don't understand the algorithm and they think they can just fly their way through it, because there's 4 comments they're almost identical to his, going, why am I seeing this? I'm well, when are you search?
Exactly, because you search queer stuff. So it's like, that's why.
Then you click on their page and
exactly
out yourself by commenting. And so it's how
that's what it was like.
You really are.
It was crazy.
Like,
but what's even but once again, it just feeds directly into what we've been talking about for I don't know how long. MAGAs are the only people that I know that follow things they don't like. It is the phenomenon, and maybe a sociologist one day will look back during this time period. They love to follow things they hate. And it is just the most bizarre. And we know that, and we have caught on, and we bait them, and we trigger them, and they keep doing it. And I'm like, as long as they keep doing it, we're gonna
keep doing what we're doing.
We're gonna keep doing it. So thank you, Jenny, for that. And we only have about 3 minutes left, but I do want to thank everyone for joining us. And we're going to go around the Brady Bunch screen. I do want to just mention one other thing. This Howard Stern thing, I just want to go back to it because of the brilliance of it. I agree with you. I wasn't a big fan of Howard Stern when I was younger. He was too obnoxious. He was too kind of over the top. But as he has aged, as he has aged, he has done what you're supposed to do when you get aged. He's become more understanding, more I'm going to say it, woke. He's become more woke. He's become more critical thinking, and he's still got his little edge to him. But if you listen to his show, and I don't really like his show, but I like certain, he'll talk about things, and him and Robin is his sidekick, I guess. And so I do appreciate that he said, I'm a big fan of Kid Rock. I've appreciated how he's converted from a Kid Rock to kind of like an entrepreneur with his restaurant and stuff. But his question is, why is this your business? Why is this? And I said this when I was in West Afghanistan, when this kind of came out. I was talking to the bartender waiting for my flight. And I said, we have to start saying that. Even when we have family members that are outraged, we have to say, why do you care? What is it? And I got it from Jenny. Jenny, when we did the drag queen show, remember, with Cece, and Jenny made that statement, and it was like, we have to start saying, why do you care? I mean, don't you have kids you have to work? I mean, why do you care? And that's something that I think is going to happen, hopefully, over the next year.
And the thing you do with conservatives.
Yeah.
And I've seen other people do it. That's not an original idea for me. I stole it from other people.
Oh, I thought you.
No, I wish I was that smart.
Okay.
But I only steal from the best.
Okay.
I got the best people working on it.
That's right, the best people.
And the thing is that you got to turn it around, and not like a petty. I know what you are. I'm
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah. 7-year-old
like grade school stuff.
Exactly.
Like if you have a talk show and you get you're interviewing, like if you're a journalist or something, or you're getting into a debate with somebody, and they're using woke, 15,000 times, and you finally go full stop. And Al Franken did this really well on the air too. Well, what is the definition of woke? And you make them answer it.
Mm-hmm.
You do not move on. And that's the thing, is you bulldog them into answering, because they can't.
Right.
Like that jackass that went on TV, that female author that wrote a book, and she wrote a whole chapter on wokeism. But when asked by a reporter, what is the definition of woke? Like, just tell me what the definition of woke. You wrote a whole chapter in your book. She couldn't answer it because she defined woke. Wokeism is basically stuff she doesn't like. Well, that's not what woke is.
That's what woke is, yeah.
Yeah.
And what we have to do is, when they're trying to create these false narratives, no matter what it is, when it's, mass shootings aren't really that big of a deal. It's not that many murders.
Until it's here.
Really. And I go, there's a whole town in Texas, in Uvalde, that's
Mhm.
shattered for generations.
Yeah.
It's not the amount of death. This is what they don't understand. And I'll take this back to guns, because I think it's one of the most extreme, divisive issues we have in this country, because there's idiots on one side of it. Is it when this happens, and especially in a small town? Uvalde is a very small town. It's not a major metropolis like Dallas or something. That's going to forever scar everybody that was involved. Somebody had a loved one that died that day in that town. Was slaughtered needlessly. They will never forget that.
Nope.
And that's the point. That's the point. We're straddling the line between stupidity and chaos, because some people don't want to give up their gun fetish. So they will go and rag about drag queens and Dylan Mulvaney and putting rainbows on a fucking beer can.
Mm-hmm.
But don't make me do a background check on a fucking gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's taking away my guns. And they're equating gun seizure with just simple background checks and maybe having to have an insurance policy. And the common sense stuff that if you want to become a pilot for Southwest Airlines, you got to go through hundreds and thousands of hours
Yeah.
of simulator training and real-time training. You just don't go, I think I want to be a pilot, and you jump behind a plane's controls and fucking take off because you think that, because John McClane and Die Hard 2 landed a fucking plane, and said, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, I can land a plane too. Nobody can land a commercial plane, by the way, without training. So you can't even, they don't land themselves. It actually takes an incredible amount of training and skill set. And most human beings don't even know how to flip on the radio right in the cockpit, much less land a fucking plane.
Yeah.
But we've got this mindset that the separation from reality, the suspension of belief in guns and planes and all this kind of shit. And like we said earlier, they don't really worry about it till it happens to you. But the problem is it's happening too much. Too many communities, too many lives are being shattered by this unbelievable level of violence that's literally put a war. We just saw this bank teller or whatever go shoot up his former employer because he got fired.
Well, and Jen, one of the things that it can't be lost on us, and especially since our listeners and viewers listen to this, and especially our listeners and viewers who are of color, it can't be lost on us that South Carolina governor was not worried about this when this impacted a black church. It can't be lost of us when the Texas governor was not worried about this when this impacted young Tejano kids. But when it impacted the white church and a white kids, suddenly the people that were against all of these common sense issues are now saying, MTG said that we have to worry about transpheta. What is she made up a term? It's like Antifa, except Transtifa. She said the Transtifa people are coming to kill Christian nationalists.
Right.
I hate to say this, but maybe we need a little roughing up to get these people to realize that, and I don't like, as a pro-life person, I'm sad to see this, but maybe we do need churches allowed to carry guns so they start seeing the fear of the possibility of what could happen in their churches. Real quickly, Jen, because we got to close up. Yeah.
A couple of things. First of all, I do think it doesn't hurt for people to take self-defense classes and get firearms training. And by all means, if you're mentally stable, go get a gun. But go take classes. Go take safety classes. Go to a gun range. Have somebody teach you how to load and unload a gun, how to clean a gun. Make sure you're educated on firearms. I have no problem with firearms. Myself, multi-generation military. I shot my first gun at age 7. You know, and so I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti-stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this whole gun debate is
Mhm.
the stupidest fucking.
Well, it's not even correct. It doesn't
Yeah.
say that. It says an armed militia. It's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
about
Well-regulated militia, actually. And we could do a whole show on guns, and we have before. But the bottom line is regulations work. It's worked in every country.
Exactly.
We regulate pilots. That's why I talked about pilots. We regulate car drivers.
Mhm.
We don't go,
Mhm.
you know, hey, we can sell more cars if we let 10-year-old licenses.
Yeah.
They're tall enough. I was tall enough to drive a car at 10. But boy, fuck if I'd want to have a 10-year-old out running around. I barely want a 16-year-old out driving a two-ton vehicle. I sure don't want a 10-year-old. And the bottom line is, certain people aren't qualified to own a gun. We should have qualified safety protocols that take time, and we make sure that somebody's qualified, just like we have qualifications for airline pilots, car drivers. We have truck drivers get a commercial license. They don't go out into the DMV and just get a regular car, you know, passenger car license. You have a special license for, you know, people that drive over the road commercial trucks because they're slightly bigger than a Honda. But there's special requirements for all these things. There should be a special requirement, a special insurance that's gun specific, and steps of sanity to make sure if I give this jackass an AR-15 and I sell this to them, that this jackass isn't unstable. This person is fit to walk out of my store with a weapon of war.
Well, and one of the things that we y'all have said, and we've gone over, and I want to thank everyone for going over with us. But one of the things that you've said, Jen, and Barb has said all the time as well, is that the first persons who complain whenever something happens, when their family gets poisoned at a restaurant, when a truck runs into them, is they complain, how come we didn't have any more restrictions or regulations? Well, so anyway, with that said, I do want to comment. Ted Cruz, I don't know if anyone knew this, but Ted Cruz had apparently on social media before the bank situation in Louisville, Kentucky. Is that where it was?
Yeah, Louisville.
Before the mass shooting in Louisville, Kentucky, he had said that banks are one of the safest places in the world because they have armed guards in front of them, and then a couple of days later, the bank gets shot up. So we'll go around the Brady Brent screen. Tell us where you're going to be. Yeah, what is it? What'd you say?
What happened with the good guy with the gun?
That's right. Exactly. That's your point. All right. Thank you, Jenny. Go around Brady Brent screen. Where are you going to be the weekend after the show? In 30 seconds or less.
I have no idea. I think I said the last week's show, April's a pretty low key month for me. There isn't a lot going on. We do have the film festival starting May 17th locally here. But other than that, I'm just kind of working towards all that kind of stuff and plotting and planning, and hopefully start getting in better shape because beach season's around the corner. And I look a little bit more like I washed up on a beach than I actually am ready for the beach. Just saying. Okay. Christmas candy was not good to me.
Oh, okay.
But boy, did it taste
How about Easter candy?
I hear you. Easter candy. That's right.
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
Something magical about peanut butter cups shaped like little eggs. I don't know.
Yeah, they're creamier. Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but they sure did go down fast by the bag. I can tell you.
That's right. Okay.
And they magically showed up around my waistline.
That's right. Okay, Barbara, do you know where you're going to be the weekend after this airs?
Actually,
or any
no,
announcements?
where we had to postpone so many things because of having COVID. We're just going to be playing catch up, but I am committed to having my yard finished by that weekend. I was going to have it first, and then we get sick. So yeah.
Yeah.
I probably could have been out in my yard working. I had no energy. So
Yeah. Well, by the time you watch this, I will hopefully have finished my taxes.
yeah.
It'll be my first time ever to file taxes as a married person, so I'm very excited. Sarcastically, I'm very excited. Also, I do. Well, by the time you watch this, I will have returned from an undisclosed location, which is West Afghanistan, which is in Texas. And we are going to do we're going to start a series called the Coffee Pan Dulce concert series. And I will do a very 5-minute review of the concert that I went to at Billy Bob's, Texas, of William Beckman. He's from Del Rio, Texas. He is bilingual. The father is a Mexican nationalist or Tejano, and his mother is not. He goes by William Beckman. Beckman is actually his middle name, and he's a country music artist, but his last name is a Spanish name. And so I'll be doing a review of that show and of Billy Bob, Texas, which I haven't been to in forever. It was a wonderful time, and he was an incredible artist, so I'll be doing that. So with that said, anything else, y'all, before I think I got the music working. Everybody good? All right, let's see if there's...
There we go.
Oh, there we go. All right, we'll see you next week on Coffee Pan Dulce. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching Coffee Pan Dulce this week. And be safe out there. And have a great week. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Next up, thanks for watching Coffee Pan Dulce. Next up is 2 Queers and a Truck. Stay tuned.
Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Sounds
You
great.
sounded like a telenova. I mean,
I'm trying to. All I have to say is, go! Yes,
as a non-Spanish speaker.
And then we'll play the music. Want me to wait, Jen? It looks like sorry. Didn't mean to rush you there.
Oh, you're fine. Good morning,
Okay, hold on a
everybody.
second. Hold on. I gotta start the music. Hold on. I gotta start the music. 1 second. One second. It's not starting. Hold on a second.
You be cue at mine.
We have technical.
No, I got it. I've got it on. It's just the Pandora has decided to stop.
Pandora said, "Oh no, you don't."
Not today.
I was just playing your music, Jen.
I know. Because we record, my show before this. With the music worked fine both times on both ends of the show.
All right, Jen, you may have to do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on. You can hear that, right?
Yep.
Doesn't sound like Tejano music, but
It's not.
We're having a serenade this morning.
and it's like really soft, like alt music is what it sounds like. Have you found it?
Yeah, but go ahead, Jen, because
Okay.
obviously it's
Technically
not working.
challenged this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I'm just glad I'm challenged this morning. I'm dressed, my face is washed, I'm clean. It's like, oh, today I'm sanitizing. Oh, and Coffee and Pan Dulce. You have to say good morning to them.
Yes.
That's so
Got it?
Good morning.
Hey, Jen, I just want to let you know that we're going to do the Pan Dulce, the Pendejo one. So if you do want to read something, we're going to make it real quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Like right after
All right.
the break?
Yeah, right after the break.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for the
But
break.
well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go into the topic. Just announce the winner, and then before we close, we'll do the Pendejo. Okay. All right. So here we go. Hold on. This works here. Oh, I think it's working. All right, y'all.
We don't hear
Thank
it.
you so much.
Yeah.
Can you? Oh, you can't hear it. All
Can't hear
right. Well, anyway, let's just act like you can hear it.